This was actually my first investment property. This thing has made me a lot of money. Honestly, the game is to make money, take your money, redeploy it to make more money. It's not to take the money and to spend it. All right, guys. So today, I'm out here in downtown, the historic Las Vegas. Give me a second where I lock my door. All right, so this property that you guys see in the back of me here, this was actually my first investment property. And I bought this property, I think probably like 12 years ago. Let me get the key here. So I bought it 12 years ago. All in on this deal, I think I had paid like $60,000. And I had a tenant in place. And he's been here ever since. And the tenant was paying $11.50 a month, and basically the $11.50 basically paid for my mortgage, and that's the reason why I didn't have a mortgage for 12 years, basically living rent-free myself. And this property was completely paid off. I mean, obviously I did some work to the property, but it does not look anywhere near the condition as it looks today. I mean, there's a lot of work that actually needs to be done to this home, but you gotta understand, somebody lived here for 12 years, like all the walls are dirty and stuff like that. I mean, just shit like this, right? But now we got possession of the property. We're coming back and we're gonna renovate this property. Now, we're not gonna tear down walls or anything like that because we don't need to, but we're gonna do some work to the property. We're gonna be spending roughly about $12,000 to $15,000 on this home. Now, this home was built in the early 60s. Originally, this was a 2-bedroom. And believe it or not, the washer and the dryer was actually in the kitchen, because that's how they built these homes back then. And the original owner, what they have done was they took the garage and converted into 2 more bedrooms, which is now the county record says it's a 4-bedroom, but technically I'm gonna market this thing as a 2-bedroom. What is this property gonna end up going for? Comps right now in this area sells about $375,000 because of the location. This is like the historic downtown. So kind of like the backstory of this, like before we had the Las Vegas Strip, we had Fremont, like the casinos. You know, when we had the mob out here running the casinos, all the casino employees at the time, they would live around this area. And fast forward till today, basically what has happened was people like migrated to like different locations and stuff like that. So as far as like location wise, it's still a good location. However, the home is outdated, but there was a lot of investors, like including like myself, that came here and they bought these investment properties when you could have bought it for like $20,000. Believe it or not, I picked this one up for roughly about, I think it was like 16 or maybe even less at that time. But I had done some renovations to it, so I was all in roughly about like $60,000 on this home. And like I said, the rent paid off the balance of how much I had into this home. And yeah, I was making money off this home, but now I think time has changed. You know, that's the thing about real estate. It's like when it comes to your portfolio, eventually what happens is you analyze your property. You guys should always be doing this and see if it actually makes sense to keep the property, because real estate is like very trendy. It comes and it goes. People grow out of the property. You have new areas, right? When you look at your portfolio and you look at the timing, if it makes sense to sell it, like this one, we've already maximized the potential of this, and it's time to move this money somewhere else. We have to move it into a different asset class, a better asset class. So For example, like I'm gonna sell this property. We're gonna probably make about $300,000 off of this deal after the renovations and all that stuff, right? But the question is, do I want to pay the taxes on it? If I pay the taxes on this, it's probably gonna eat me up about $75,000, depending on my tax bracket this year, right? So we do want to avoid that. So how do we do this? So my game plan on here is we're probably gonna end up doing a 1031 exchange. That's if I'm able to find good property to move this money to a different, better asset class. So I might end up just selling this, doing that 1031 exchange. We'll probably end up moving it to maybe the Southwest, more of a brand new home where I can get like a KB Homes, a 2464 model, 5 bedrooms, and taking this money, rolling on over to there to a better asset class. Then from there, we'll just have to see and wait. Or I might roll this money over into an apartment complex. But the only problem with that is once I go under contract on this home, I need to identify a property like within like 90 days. And I don't want to feel like I'm rushed to do that. That's the only downfall with these 1031 exchanges, you know what I mean? So if I can't find what I want, then I'll just probably just end up honestly just paying the taxes on it, which is I'm okay with because, you know, this thing has made me a lot of money. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much it. I mean, on camera it doesn't look that bad, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done as far as like paint, baseboards. We got to regrout the tile. I got to do all new blinds. And I mean, we got to do like the grill changes, but cabinets are still in good condition. But this one is very sentimental to me because this is literally like my first project. And there was one thing that I learned about this is before I got into like real estate investing, there was a company back then, and there's still companies now where they want you to pay like thousands of dollars to learn how to flip properties. And what I've noticed, a lot of these companies are like scams. Like you pay $20,000, $30,000 and okay, now you know what to do. But then the question is, now you don't have the money to go do it and you owe this company money. So what I've realized on my first acquisition on this one was that instead of just paying somebody $30,000 to learn it, I'm more of on hands. So I bought this at a great deal, and I knew it was a great deal at that time, and I spent more than I should have to remodel the home. But it was a learning lesson. Like, this thing has taught me so much throughout my career, and it was the best money spent versus spending that money with a company or these companies that provide like these YouTube videos to you, right? Or you could buy their courses. For me, I feel like that wasn't worth it. So this was definitely an on-hands project, and it was worth it to me. So very happy with it. Let me just change the temperature. But yeah, that's just something I want to just share with you. Hold on, guys. Alright, my bad. I had to carry all that stuff back to the car. I don't know if all this is making sense. Sometimes I don't really explain things into detail, but if you have a real estate investment portfolio and you have all these properties that are producing high income, right? Which is great. But sometimes you got to look at your portfolio. You also have to take a look at the location of the property. You have to take a look at the property itself. And then you take a look at the current market. Now, the name of the game is constantly to reposition. You may have one property that's yielding you a 14% return, but another property that's only yielding you 10%, right? And you may want to transition that property and liquidate that property and try to find another property that can take you into a 14% higher rate of return. But then sometimes you have to take a look, just because it's a 14% return or a 10% return, that 10% return may yield you a higher dollar amount if you realize within that current local market, because real estate is very localized. And this location, 89101, has fully maximized the potential growth, right? So now I know it is time to liquidate, and it is time to sell, and it's time to reposition this money. Because look, man, honestly, the game is to make money, take your money, redeploy it to make more money, right? It's not to take the money and to spend it. But eventually what happens is you're gonna start to accumulate more and more money. Then once you get to that certain dollar amount, yes, then spend some of it, because at the end of the day, you have to enjoy your life. And that's something that I realized, like, you work so hard, spend some of it, but spend it wisely. Be smart with your money. Just like that Lambo, like all the watches, right, that I've got, you know, the toy cars, like all the other cars we got. Look, it literally took me about 15 years to get to where I'm at today, right? It's slow growth, but you have to be willing to make the sacrifice, be financially disciplined, live below your means, stack, take your money, deploy it, make sure that now you're making money on that secondary money, and that's the money that you're going to use for the things that you want, okay? And that's what we call like slow growth, and that's how I'm playing this game. It's a little bit more conservative. Some people could be more aggressive, but it's just totally up to you. But hopefully you learned something here. All right, let's get out of here. All right, guys, I am now out here in the southwest of the Las Vegas Valley. So just right over here, we got Blue Diamond, which is the main highway that takes you out to Pahrump. And we just picked up this new listing right here. One of our clients from YouTube, that's right. So I just want to say thank you for the support and the love. So this home right here is going on the market for $510,000. Nearly 2,100 square feet, 3 bedrooms and a loft. They did a lot of upgrades. So make sure to go to the first channel to check it out. All right, give me a second here. I gotta mess around with this lockbox. All right, let's go check this thing out. Make sure nobody's home. Can't show you guys the code, so hang tight. Okay. Wow, they left all the lights on for me. That was really nice of them. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. All right, let me go start my video home tour, but I gotta get this prepared. But I mean, you can see how big this lot is. I mean, this is a huge lot, and these homes over here are just, you know, within like 5 years old. I mean, look at all this right here. You're not gonna get a large street like this with sidewalks on both sides. Disregard the trash. It is trash day, so don't knock it. Wait till I show you guys the back. It's all paved and all that stuff. Like I said, make sure to check out the first channel, because that's where I'm getting it uploaded at. So, all right, I'll be